Here at Modular Meets Leeds with Phil, VCOADSR. Get a bit of a rig rundown for the performance, the video of which will be online as well. So you're performing with a relatively small setup and creating comprehensive, produced dark techno, effectively.
Yeah.
Can you kind of run us through what's going on? I mean, if we start with clocking, how are things being generated?
Yeah, so the heart of the system is Pamela's new workout, so that's the master.
I love a bit of that.
And essentially that's driving both of these orthogonal devices sequences with the expanders. So I have two sequences in my rig. One, the top one's for all the percussion and drum duties, and then the bottom one is really for all of the melodic, well, anything that's not drums essentially. So I've got two of these. I'll probably say why a bit later, why I'm using them. But they're extremely powerful, and for what I want, which is it is like a precision type of music in terms of timing at the very least, then these guys, the combination of the orthogonal devices and Pamela's new workout, well, it's extremely tight.
Well, it's a really tightly packed system.
Yeah, so...
what are you using, say, for drum voices?
So, until recently, I actually had a full Joe Mox mod bass 09, but I actually decided to go to the TipTop one now.
Okay, so samples.
Yeah, so I've got a sample, but what I'm also using is crossfade with this, I forgot the name, it's I can't remember what the company is now.
Feedback.
Yeah, Feedback, and this is just a channel that's been taken off an old mixer from the 80s, I think, and so I'm just blending in, getting a bit more dirt into that kick, and just being able to tweak it. So if I really want to slam it and get that square wave classic punch, I can. So I've got that, and I think that's quite nice. It's big enough for a kick, but it's solid. And then over at the top, I've got some of the TipTop stuff. This blank panel is basically, as soon as the SD909 comes out, it's going in. I've been waiting 18 months for this thing.
Okay.
So considering I make techno, having that probably is a good thing to have.
Yes.
So yeah, that is pretty simple. What I'm also doing is I've got a clock divider for modulating or opening and closing the open hats of the hi-hats. So that's straightforward. And then I'm processing that eventually all that percussions get summed in a DSP. Just give it a little bit of stereo interest, so it's not just always mono and flat.
So is that a reverb or a delay?
It's the Leslie rotating.
All right, and you're just letting that push things around the stereo
and I barely
field.
use it. It's only ever so slight, and probably in a big room where people are enjoying themselves, will they actually perceive it? Maybe not, but it's more for me than anyone else. So that's sort of the drum side. Then on the melodic side, let's say, so I've got the Bassimilus for bassline duties only. I'll barely modify that really. I might bring in a little bit of the fold or the morphing, and then occasionally bring in the attack. But I just want that as like a foundation, a steady low end to complement the kick really.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the other, I've got the other Loqulic Iteritas Percido, and that actually just replaced the Loqulic I had before.
Right, okay.
So I'm using that, and I'm running that through the Wasp filter, and I'm modulating the envelope amplitude of the filter using a VCA and the sequencer, so I can get some dynamics and interest in opening and closing filters, because I think that's sometimes a bit lacking. And then finally, over to here, hidden away, I'm using the orthogonal devices ER301 with two stereo channels, and essentially they're going to be doing playback of samples. There's some granular synthesis in there. It's just at the moment just trying to sort of see what it's useful for.
So are you rebuilding this depending on mood, EP, sets?
Yeah. I mean, at the moment I'm getting quite a lot of nice atmospherics and nice textures that I'm sort of laying on top of this solid techno baseline, you might say, or foundation. So that's working quite well, and it's really, I mean, I just love it. And I've got lots of, I have lots of chains set up. So throughout my gig, actually, if I go up, for my gig today, I've got these different chains, and they'll have all different elements that I'll then control with these different offsets in here. So these 6 controllers are also manual controls for parameters inside each of these chains.
Yeah.
So so I can get at it. So it's not just sat there playing away. I'm interacting with it as well.
So then, in terms of effects, we've got a Z-DSP down in the skiff.
So
is that kind of running master reverb?
Yeah.
Or?
So that's from the auxiliary one of the Model 1 mixer. That's actually before the signal gets to the Z-DSP. I'm actually routing it through another sound computer.
Okay.
So I've got let's just go up. So here I've got I've got a whole bunch of things like limiters. I've got some EQ to take out the low end before it goes to the reverb. I've got pitch shift in delay. I've also got another limit. I'm just basically allowing this so I can process the audio before it goes to the reverb. And
So
this is early days in what I want to do. But on the second channel, if I press it, okay, I've actually also got a clock delay, and I'm able to tap the delay signal from the second channel into the first channel.
Right, okay.
With manual controls.
So would you say that the sound computer and things like the Model 1 mixer with a Z-DSP are allowing you to get that more produced, rich kind of sound? This doesn't sound just like a modular jam by any means. It's produced, driving, thick techno.
Yeah, I would say that this is actually the mixer isn't a key element of this rig, but also the sound computers, and having that allows me to add that layer of.
Well, it's things like you said, rolling off low end before you go into a reverb. We all do it in a DAW, but no one really thinks about that in
and
modular.
The thing is, it just gets so muddied, the low end.
Of course.
And if you have some delay, so it's just trying to, I think, still limit myself to doing something in the modular, not because I think using the modular is the best thing to make techno. It's just that I want to have a tactile interface. That's the most important thing to me. And last year when I was having a run through, I think with Sonic State, the guys, they asked me, and I said I've essentially created an electribe, a chordal electribe, which is strangely what I started with. And I said that last year, but I think now it's even more true, except this is actually better. Well, if it's not better, I'm a mug,
Yeah. Great. We're looking forward to the set.
Thanks.
The set will be online as well. Want to plug websites?
Oh yeah, so
releases that are available.
Yeah, great one, Ben. So VCOADSR.com, and I released a double EP back in April, which is also an unlimited cassette run. Yeah. So it's definitely worth. I'm most happy with that release of all my releases so far, and just check it out. And if you want me to play, contact me.
Yeah, great. Cheers.
Thanks, Ben.